Salutations everyone, this is Razor bringing you guys some Overwatch gameplay here with my girl Zarya. Probably my favorite tank in the game, at least right now. Now, of course, Reinhardt is a very important character that, you kind of need to have on your team, just because she's the tankiest of the tanks. He's got that shield. You can help push up the objective as well as, give your enemy a little bit of something to shoot at. And with a Roadhog, he's going to get a ton of kills. That chain hook that can interrupt supers, and that scattergun does insane damage. He can 1- and 2-shot most characters in the game and can self-heal himself with that like 600 health that he's got. And D.Va's pretty good, can deflect, but, not for too long. And, of course, has that self-destruct super, which is one of the best in the game. My girl Zarya here, she can shield your teammates, she can shield herself, and as long as you use the gun to your to its full potential, you can see yourself having a ton of fun. Not to mention she has one of the best supers to coincide with your teammates, because that gravity bomb will pull people in, and then D.Va can come in and self-destruct, or Tracer can throw in her bomb, or Hanzo can shoot his arrows. Her super is like the best combo super starter to go with anybody else. And when it comes to her shielding powers, the more the opponent hits you while you're shielded, or your opponent while they're being shielded, the stronger your particle cannon will become. You got the secondary fire to have a nice little longer range AoE attack, and the ray gun, the primary fire for your more close quarters battles, and it's pretty hard to miss with it. And of course will get larger the more charged up your particle cannon is. She's a solid character, 200 shield, 200 health, so yes, quite tanky. While her shields aren't going to be, say, as useful as Reinhardt's, and she might not get as many kills or, consistent kills as Roadhog, and, have the pizzazz and maybe survivability of D.Va because she can get out of her tank. She can definitely hold her own against multiple enemies quite well, unless of course you get flashbanged by a McCree and they get like 4v1'd. Those are things that are definitely going to happen. But as long as you utilize the cooldown of your shield, stay close to your teammates, so that not only can you shield them to help them, but you can shield them to help yourself as well. And, getting that, if you're, playing with other players, playing with friends, or communicating with your teammates, definitely always let them know whenever you have your gravity bomb super ready, because there's a lot of other characters that can take advantage of her super, because it groups in a large group of enemies together. See, I just used it right there. And once you get them up, you can just use your secondary shot, get a couple of kills right there. So I got a couple of kills on them. Now going toe-to-toe against this Reinhardt, and he's not going to win a defensive fight with me because I have that tankiness. And, if maybe he's not only focused on me, then things can go pretty well your way. So those are pretty much the basics of Zarya, and why I like her is because she's a multi-use tank. She's not like Reinhardt where you have to be there to tank. You have to be there to block and help your team and move that objective. And you're not going to get very many kills with Reinhardt. You're more of a super-duper support, super tanky class. And with Roadhog, you're not going to be able to much to help your teammates. You're just a big old tanky dude that can heal himself and take out people with a ton of damage, and have a super that you can clock out very, very often. Just the way that Roadhog works. And with D.Va, she can reflect, but it's not usually for too long, and at long distances she might have some trouble. So that's why I think Zarya is such a great character. She fills that tank role, but is very, as with every character in the game, is very, very different from the others, and fills a role that's both offensive and defensive, especially if you use your powers correctly and you're working with your teammates. I know that might sound silly, but Zarya on her own might get just taken out by a Tracer, a McCree, a Hanzo or Widowmaker or what have you. There I got killed by the martyrdom of that Junkrat, because when Junkrat dies, he just bursts into like a bunch of grenades, and unfortunately That was not in my mind, and I just like, yeah, let's just keep on going. I got killed. I've only been killed by that like twice, and I've never gotten a kill with it. So, not a very useful move for Junkrat. But I actually really like Junkrat as a character. But with Zarya, she's just multifaceted, and with that gravity bomb going in conjunction, I mean, sure you can get some kills if you pull them all in. Use your alt fire to get that splash damage, and maybe if you don't kill them. Then go into your shield, because all of a sudden you're gonna have a lot of focus fire on you, and you can use that to your advantage. Not a lot of characters, especially if they haven't played Zarya or know Zarya or the characters fairly well, they might just see the shield and be like, all right, let's go after him. Like people who don't know that Genji can reflect and when to not fire at him for his blockable, his reflection attacks. So Zarya kind of has a little bit of that going for her. She has long range capabilities, close range capabilities. She could shield herself and shield her teammates, which is quite useful. As you can see, we lost the objective of A pretty quickly, as you typically do in this game, unless you're running like 3 Torbjorns and a Bastion, which absolutely freaking happens on this match. If you're on the defensive team on A, I've been on the business end of that, and let me tell you, it is no fun. So this map typically very quickly comes to a point of defending B, and this can be definitely mitigated a lot with Symmetra. Symmetra I really like on this map because of all of the doorways that you can use for sentries, and this is also quite useful for Torbjorn. Pharah can jump over a lot of these walls and cause some havoc. Junkrat can shoot his explosives off of higher buildings or off of walls, which is quite useful. And here, where Roadhog is usually going to have an easy time killing somebody if he gets the chain hook grab. But with Zarya, you might have a little bit of trouble there. So here I'm able to pick up some armor against this Torbjorn. I think Torbjorns definitely don't drop as much armor as they should. I'm definitely guilty of that when I'm Torbjorn. It'll usually take me a while. Like, I need to be dropping more armor than I currently am. Especially if you're getting a lot of kills, of course, with your turret and picking up a lot of gears in order to drop that armor. It's just, either drop it at your spawn point so your bonus can pick it, or your teammates can pick it up, or drop it at the objective. And see, we have the Symmetra protecting that teleporter. With the turrets, very useful. Also, obviously, teleporters, you can put them on these pillars right here. You can put them in the dark room in case they try to flank you. Very quite useful. Although her teleporter isn't as necessary in this match because you spawn very close to at least the B objective. But with Zarya, you can try to one-on-one folks with that shield, and because of her tankiness and her damage output, as long as you really take advantage or notice, and see, I got a bunch of them grouped together, and I just didn't have the particle cannon damage going out right there. So I did some damage to them all, but I didn't get much to the kill, and so here I'm going to pop my own shield and take out that Roadhog, save my enemy, or my teammate. Genji here is getting harassed, and as long as you can get, behind the McCree, usually things can go pretty well for you. I do get flashbanged regardless, but then we're able to clean him up. And obviously always go for health whenever you may need it, because even your tanky characters aren't going to be living forever. So that Bastion ended my my 7-player kill streak because he wasn't as ulta, so that's kind of hard to mitigate for my teammates, and there he just finds himself in a lucky situation where he can pick me off. I should have doubled back, got some health, and or tried to shield more of my teammates. So here we are in the final minute. It's really difficult for an opponent to get a really late comeback if you have a Zarya on your team, because of the fact that if they all make a big push, they drop a super, a couple of your teammates die, or what have you, and they try to make that comeback or force overtime to happen or to continue. If you pop a shield on one of your teammates as well as a shield on yourself, you can just let loose on that particle cannon. Chances are they're just going to be shooting all of their weapons just out buck wild to try to get the kills so they can continue overtime or stay on the objective, because if they're not on that objective, then overtime is going to dissipate incredibly quickly. So here with my with my cannon at a pretty good charge right now, are just trying to fend off the opponents from even getting close. That's the end of the game, so I'm going to drop a grav bomb and unfortunately get taken out there by the Reaper as he got sucked in. But you know, it was all about getting the victory, so it's not all about getting kills. It's about supporting the team, using your abilities to give them shields as well as your own shields. And here we have this to Bjorn. Bjorn, I think, has gotten most of the play of the games since the game proper has come out. We don't see as many Bastions, and they don't seem to get as many play of the games. They definitely do, but not to the extent that we did see them in the beta. So to Bjorn, nice little kill percentage right there. I don't get any, you know, special accolades or cards there. That's all fine and dandy because we got the victory and we were able to play a supportive / offensive tank, which is what Zarya is really, really good at. So final score here is 21 eliminations, a 7 kill streak, 6 deaths, only 1 objective kill because we were able to push him off fairly well. And we were able to do some damage, and I got 2 Graviton Surge kills, so a little room for improvement definitely for further games, which I have also to show you guys. But Zarya, one of my favorite characters in the game, and my favorite tank so far.